You guys believe it's like been another year since last year and we're here again? This is year number 5. How many of you guys, this is your first time coming to this? Oh, dang, sweet. Well, welcome to the party. I look at you or a camera, where's?
You can look at me.
Okay.
Okay. So, how did the event go?
The event turned out amazing, I think, overall. I was really nervous ahead of time that nobody was gonna show up. But when we opened the doors, it was packed and we filled the whole room and it was awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next individual I'd like to introduce is the reason that we are all here this weekend. About 8 months ago, he brought to the marketplace something that we all desperately needed. The ability to make professional-looking sales funnels in a matter of hours as opposed to months. ClickFunnels has had over 7,000 members, active members, and over 200 people are joining every single day. Wow is right. And you don't, woo is right, exactly. You don't get that. You don't get to experience that. You don't get to have that if the product that you've created isn't awesome, isn't what the marketplace needs. So speaking of awesome, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I'd like you to do. Go ahead and stand up for me and welcome to the stage, Mr. Russell Brunson!
Funnel hacking is a process that I was doing ever since I first got started. We didn't have a name for it, we never called it that. But basically, I wasn't like an amazing business person or that creative or anything. So I was just looking at what everybody else was doing to make money when I first got started. I saw people like Armin Moore and I saw what they did, and so I just modeled that like as close as I could because it was working. The true story is that I was wrestling. Good shot, Russell. I just met my wife, we were engaged, and I had to figure out a way to pay the bills. And so the logical choice for me was to look online to figure out how to make money, right? This is 12 years ago. And I started looking around, I started seeing all these people who were super smart making a bunch of money. Like, and I was watching these guys create these products and they were selling them. I remember like, their sales letters were so good. I bought every single one of them. And I started seeing all their processes. And so I went and I hired this dude from Romania, and he built my first idea. It was this little product called Zip Brander. And then I looked at Armin's websites, and he always had these little covers. And so I hired someone to make a little cover. And then he had a headline, so I wrote a headline. And then in his header, he always had a picture of him in a suit and tie. So I went and got a picture of me in a suit and tie. And I just made it look as close to his as possible because like he was the dude who was making a bunch of money I was watching, right? And because I had followed his process, it started making money. Eventually, I went from this college kid who wasn't, didn't have a job, not that educated, just trying to wrestle, to within a year of graduating from college, I had made over $1 million in sales. And it wasn't for me being a genius of business, it was for me looking at people who were successful and modeling them. And that's kind of how I got started. To understand like where Funnel Hacking Live came from, you have to go back in time. I remember I was going to school, I was making money. By my senior year, I made like $250,000 online, like selling stuff. And I remember my mom like being so nervous, like, what's your plan? What's your job gonna be? What are you gonna do? I'm like, Mom, I'm making money online. And she's like, I know, but like when that's done, like, what's your plan? Like, what's your backup plan? Like, that was the big thing. In fact, I remember back then, it wasn't something people went online to consume stuff, to get knowledge, information. Like it was still like the school system, the traditional was the way. Nowadays, 15 years later, you see where most people, it's like, if you want to learn something, you don't go to school. It's like, who created the course? Who's the person who wrote the book on it? It's learn directly at the feet of the master, right? And that's how we kind of look at education today, but it wasn't like that back then. It was weird. Like I remember the first time I saw an ebook, like it didn't make any sense to me. And then first time I tried to sell an ebook, people messaged me like where's the book? I'm like, no, it's an ebook. I'm like, I don't understand what that means. I'm like, it means you download it. And they're like, well, why did I pay you then? I'm like, because the words on the page are and people couldn't even grasp it before Amazon had ebooks, right? It's like physical books were the thing, and digital stuff, like it took this learning curve for people to understand, like, why would I pay for something that's not, I can't touch, you know what I mean? I wasn't the first person that tried to build ClickFunnels or a ClickFunnels. In fact, my first one was called click.com.com. I had 6 programmers, spent 3 years on it, and it never saw the light of day. That's when I met Todd Dickerson. He was like, no, I think I can do it. I was like, all right, man, well, good luck with that. Like, if you really want to spend the next year of your life trying to do that, like that'd be awesome. And I knew Todd was good, but I didn't know how amazing he was. But he literally like took some of the sketches and the diagrams and the ideas we had, and he locked himself in his bedroom, in his closet, wherever he was at. And in like 6 months, he built the very first version of ClickFunnels. We didn't know what ClickFunnels was going to become. We thought it was going to be something awesome, but we still made most of our money doing the information. When we launched ClickFunnels initially, we launched this thing, and it was interesting because the software without the information didn't actually do anything. We launched it, and it was like hitting a brick wall. It was like crickets, like nobody got it, nobody understood. It was just the weirdest thing. I'm like, do people not know what we created for? I'm like, if I could sit with them and just explain, like, this is why this is so important, like, it would change everything, but like, it just couldn't get traction. About the same time, I'd started my very first book, which is .com Secrets. And I was like, I'm gonna get this book done because people read the book, it would be almost like a manual, like, here's the strategy behind how this thing works. And it was crazy how the book launched. People got the book, they read it, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, that's why I need a funnel. That's why this is so important. And so I'm like, I know. And so we had now like this book, which was like the training manual to help you strategically understand it, and the tool that let you easily do it. And as soon as we had the book and the software together, that's when it started taking off. And people read that, they're like, okay, I get it. And then they needed software to actually execute on it. I wish I could say that this was all strategically designed from the beginning, but it wasn't. And what's funny is that the little community we had at the time, it was a Facebook group, we probably had, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 people at this time. And they started calling themselves funnel hackers. Like, they started using that as a term. Like, people would come in like, hey, my fellow funnel hackers, I got a question for you. And like, they kept saying that. I was like, this is cool. Like, they've got a name for themselves. And they'd heard me and Todd talk about these little hackathons we used to do. Like, we used to do these all-night hackathons to try to get stuff done. And like, yeah, let's do a hackathon. And so we get these little groups around the country, people doing like 2- and 3-person meetup hackathons. And I was like, dang, this is so cool. Like, this is happening without us trying to engineer this thing. And they're doing their own little events, things are happening, and it's like, we can just let them keep doing it, or like, what if we facilitated that? People just kept asking me, and finally I was like, all right, let's go for it. Let's do an event. And so like, what do we call the event? You know, our people are funnel hackers. Like, we're gonna funnel hack live together. And then that was the name. I was like, that's it. It's funnel hacking live. Let's just call it that. It was awesome. So I appreciate you guys. I remember my first seminar I ever went to, I was dreaming about doing seminars. We tried for a bunch of years, then we gave up. I swore to Brent and John that we would never do another seminar again. But I'm grateful we did, and just grateful for you guys for executing and making it all happen. So thank you, and it's amazing. So thanks to you guys.
I had a number of people talking about how excited they were to be part of the first year. And they're like, when we look back 6 years from now, and it's like the 6th annual. I can say that I was at the first one. Russell's asking, how many of you were at the last one? I'm kind of behind the scenes. So I was the technical co-founder when we started ClickFunnels. Russell's the marketing, sales side of the company, the coaching and the events, while I'm the guy running the actual software business and running everything behind the scenes. When I started ClickFunnels with Russell, it was just me and him. So I was working out of the basement, basically. So we grew a little bit, and we decided to expand and get an actual office, get out of my wife's hair at the house all day, every day.
All right, so we're gonna read quantum physics.
Tick, 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 tick. That was more users signing up on, or going down, one or the other. Hopefully it's not down. So Funnel Hacking Live started as the ClickFunnels user conference, I guess you would say, but it's really grown to something much bigger now. Big differences between the different types of events that I've been to, at least. So you've got user conferences, which tend to be more technical, hands-on. This is how you can use this software in this industry to accomplish this goal.
They help sell it. They help close the business. Without them, it wouldn't happen.
Those events kind of tend to be boring usually. Like, you end up seeing a lot of people just networking in the hallway. Personal development and internet marketing conferences are kind of the other side of the equation that we see a lot of, like getting excited about methods and stuff. But there's not really like hands-on training necessarily. Oftentimes there's people selling courses to learn more and that kind of thing. Whereas I think we've taken kind of the best of both worlds and meshed them together for Funnel Hacking Live, where we've taken and we do hands-on stuff. We teach you usable, real-world things that you can do right now with our software and with our products to actually grow and progress your business. But we also come in with the motivation and the excitement and the culture and the community around you.
Repeat after me. Say, hey, Russell and Todd. We're ready for you to show us what's new with ClickFunnels. Ladies and gentlemen, Russell Brunson and Todd Dickerson.
My name is Melanie Niven. I am Russell's executive assistant, and I plan all of our events. I don't have a title for that, but I pretend it's director of events.
They took black, red, and blue markers.
The big old fatties, right?
There's fatties and small, like regular. So I'll grab mine and bring mine as a backup to be safe.
So when I started working for Russell, I didn't get a job description. I just came in and did what I thought he needed help with. And then a month later, I was asked to plan the rest of their Funnel Hacking Live event for San Diego.
That, and just keep teasing people about that.
From San Diego on to, where are we, Nashville.
This is the hardest part for sure, getting the concepts out, but now it's like the brute force of like getting into a thing. So like mentally, I would say I'm probably 90% done. Physically, we're probably like 20% done.
It works out all the time though.
Russell getting his presentations done is the most stressful for me because I like to make sure he has that time blocked out, but he usually works on them a week or two before the event. So it's fresh in his mind, and I understand that. Like the first year I did this event, I died.
We're out of whiteboard room, whiteboard. These are all maxed out. We got no more doodle space. We got doodle space is gone here. My desk is a nightmare. Everything's clumped up. Like I got 80,000 tabs open, and none of my 6 presentations are done. All of them are partially done. None of them even close to done. And we are 6 days away. Today the event starts a week from today. But the good news is apparently there's another whiteboard. All right, it's all done. What's up, Melanie? So we just planned the whole event, and there's some big changes. You're probably gonna kill me, but
By the
this
way,
is planned. All right. With that said, one thing before we get too deep on this, we're pretty deep, so it's happening. But, on Wednesday, should I tell her or not? I'll tell you tomorrow. I'm gonna stay up tonight. Sleep good. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, that's gonna kill her. She's not gonna sleep, man. She's gonna be awake the whole night now because of that. That was mean. She's gonna call you out on that too.
You absolutely have to tell me right now. Russell Brunson, tell me right now.
Oh, Melanie, you are the coolest. I'm so sorry. All right, okay. So what we're thinking is to get everything done we want to do.
I love this part of my job too. It takes me away from just like the everyday life of being an assistant, and this is kind of brings some like razzle dazzle to it. The only way to keep organized for me that I know that I'm fully responsible for is in here. All of our team members, I list them out. I take all their names, their job title, I figure out what their event role is, and then who they report to at the event, and then what their role is for day 1 through 4. These are some of the items that we were responsible for shipping out. So like pins and chapsticks and hand sanitizer, staff shirts, renewal shirts, Action XMD shirts, our event guide, our wristbands, our backpacks, like everything you think of that has our logo on it or has something to do with the event, that is a print job. And our design team is doing that. So that's why I like to try and get that stuff started earlier versus later. I don't think if we didn't have these spreadsheets, we would die. Like every week for hotel reservations, you have to go through, make sure the hotel has the right check-in dates, check-out dates, name, and the type of room. So I just want to go through a few like last minute things for Funnel Hacking Live.
Mm-hmm. His says the 18th.
And we need to update that so it shows the 17th.
Okay.
Because I think their
Let's
meeting
make
is
a note really quick.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Send me like who he's bringing with him because I don't know if it's like a wife and kid, and you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So I'm waiting to hear back. That's the only outstanding one I have right now.
It's all gonna work out. It always does.
It does.
But I'm just getting a little nervous.
Yeah. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Unless you can sew shirts and make water bottles last minute. My name is Miles Clifford, and I am the events manager at ClickFunnels. So after last year's Funnel Hacking Live, I took over the events team. So it's taking, Russell's idea and his concepts, and Dave and the other partners, what their vision is for Funnel Hacking Live, and executing on that vision. So whether that's food and beverages, to the hotel rooms, to the staging, the lighting, the experiences that people have at the hotel, during the event, off the event, that's what the events team does.
So the fastest way is come out here. We're gonna turn left, and then we're gonna turn right.
What really helped with this event was going and seeing the site.
Isn't it cool here? So our staff did.
Melanie and a couple other team members came down here, did a site visit. When you don't do that, you're going in blind, and you never want to go into an event blind.
Can I do a t-shirt gun? Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing because they don't let us do t-shirt guns when there's chandeliers.
So Russell's in trouble right now. Melanie is grounding him because
To work.
I don't want to.
It's like the little temper tantrum from our Russell Brunson over here.
What do you have to do?
6 presentations. Oh, Russell, what did you have to do last Monday at the same time? 6 presentations. Russell, how many have you done? None.
But give yourself credit. What'd you get done?
The title slides, they look pretty.
That makes me feel happy and good.
Most people go out and they just pay for a lot of speakers to randomly come in. For us, what we really want is we want part of our community, people who've had success and who are doing things in a unique way that would be of great value to the rest of the audience, that really help them get whatever that next step might be for them. But also we want to make sure that basically aligns with us in the direction that we're trying to go with the event as well.
Hey Stacy, I was so impressed with what you and Paul presented at our inner circle, and Russell and I were talking and thought, you know what, it would be awesome if you could actually present the same type of thing to our funnel hacking community. If you could kind of talk about some of the cool stuff you guys do from a relationship transformation standpoint, but then also really dig in deep as far as how do you actually connect with your audience. Box me back, let me know if that works for you guys, and look forward to having you guys at Funnel Hacking Live. Thanks.
My name is Dave Woodward. I run all of our top line revenue for ClickFunnels, all of our business development opportunities, integrations, partnerships. My whole job is just to make money for ClickFunnels.
That's so brilliant. You gotta figure out, when you're taking the same process, you're just gonna figure out what's the...
Oh, dude, I love it.
So Russell will cast the vision overall as far as what's the event going to be focused on. And with that, there's certain people that we try to line up that will be specific to that. And then I have the opportunity of reaching out to a lot of those people and signing the contracts, getting them on board, and really developing those relationships that help us not only just for the event, but long-term as well.
Hey Steve, all right bud, got a huge favor for you. If you don't mind, I'm sure you won't, but we'd love to have you speak at Funnel Hacking Live.
As I take a look at building a speaking team for an event, you can definitely bring in big people and have their name and everything else, and it helps for some credibility. But there's no greater social proof than people who are using your product, who are having success doing what you've been preaching in their own unique way, in their own niche. And the thing I love about Funnel Hacking Live is I take a look over the last few years, some of the speakers we've had on would be people you normally wouldn't expect to see on stage. And you're going, my gosh, if he can do it or she can do it, I know I can too. So over the course of 4 days, we typically will have anywhere from 10 to 14 speakers. In addition to that, Russell speaks himself 4 or 5 times. And we really try to gauge energy levels throughout the day. Some of the things we've always tried to do is either bring in a comedian, or we brought in rappers, or we're bringing in the Phantom of the Opera and they sing on stage. Just trying to find different ways of really playing with the energy level of the audience. And it's amazing to see the impact that has on their ability to learn and also their ability to actually implement what they've learned. I would encourage anyone else who's looking at having a keynote speaker not to be afraid of spending big money to get the right keynote speaker there. It's amazing to see the impact that it has on the audience, and they feel so connected because they know that you care about them, that you are willing to spend the money to bring someone big in.
Russell, I don't know if you truly know what you got yourself into here. I'm gonna tell them a little story of how you and I started to work together. You saw me speak at Joe Polish's event, right? Do you remember like coming up to me afterwards and you were like, oh my God, that was amazing. Will you speak at funnel hacking? That would be awesome. I'm like, sure, great. I'm like, do you know my fee? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And I'm like, okay, cool. So gave you my card. You're like, we're gonna do this. So a couple of weeks go by after Russell and I talk about presenting at his event. And I'm like, dude, is this gonna happen? And he's like, yeah. There's just this thing. I go, what? He's like, well, we brought in another speaker. We brought in a big, famous speaker, and like, we don't have the budget to bring you in now. And I'm thinking, like, how is that my problem? And I said, well, dude, listen, I don't speak that often anymore. That's my fee. I would love to be there for you, maybe next year. And that was it. You remember that? It was very clear. And I get a text message a few hours later from this adorable, clean-cut Mormon, right? And he just writes me, screw it, I'll pay out of my own pocket, let's do this. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's awesome, because what I saw from Russell in that moment was devotion. Not commitment, but devotion. When you are committed to something, you'll still fall down. When you're devoted, you won't. When something hits you, when you're devoted, you crush it. Thank you for your time. I love you. Yeah! Have a wonderful conference.
There's nothing more fun in the office than to see us kind of come up with who would be the ideal person, who's that dream person we want to get, and then think, is there any way we could really get them? When we got Tony Robbins, it was like, no way, we actually got Tony Robbins, who was a person that Russell had spent years just networking with and providing value to.
Whoa! Yeah! Tony Robbins.
Yes! It's a huge celebration when we're able to land that big fish at the end.
Here he comes, here he comes.
We got Tony.
We got Tony. Oh!
Keynote, we can launch the event funnel finally.
Sell some tickets.
Come to the event.
We can sell tickets finally.
I didn't realize how important having a theme would be initially, because we didn't have one. It was Funnel Hacking Live, and we're gonna hack funnels together. I remember sitting down and writing the headline for, I think, the third Funnel Hacking Live. And I remember thinking the concept of like, you're one funnel away from being rich. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I want everyone believing that one funnel away from being rich. I remember writing that headline and looking at it for a minute, sitting back and be like, it seems so shallow. Like being rich is cool, but that's not why most people do it. Maybe initially, but most people want to do it because of impact. So I'm like, hey, well, you're one funnel away from changing the world. And I was like, oh, that's really, really cool. I'm like, that speaks to people that are impact driven. Some people it's not. Some people just hate their job and they just want to get free. So I'm like, hey, you're one funnel away from firing your boss. I'm like, And I deleted everything, just like one funnel away. And I'm trying to think. And then I kept looking at that. I was like, it's different for everyone. Like, the result they want is going to be different, but this is the tool that gets them that result. I said, one funnel away, like that's the theme, that's the concept. And so for the last couple of Funnel Hacking Lives, that's been the theme. Every year people are like, what's the new theme? I'm like, no, that's the theme. Like, this is a recurring thing. Like,
this process for all of us, you guys, is an up and a down. Like, it's always happening. And all of you guys are somewhere in this wave right now, right? Some of you guys are at the top riding it. Some of you guys are at the bottom in the crash. Some of you guys are somewhere in between, and it's always going up and down. But if nothing else, of this event, like, I wanted you guys to all understand that, like, no matter where you are, there's hope. It might not be this funnel. I can't tell you how many funnels flopped. I guarantee I have failed at more funnels than anybody else in this room. Because of that, we found out what worked. And the only way to do that is to do it over and over and over again. And it's a lot easier now. I promise you, it's so much easier than what we used to do. And that's why this tool is so important, because you can do that. You can test, you can try over and over and over again.
And so people are trying to think of a theme. It really comes back to, like, what's the end result you're trying to get for your customer that's coming to the event? Like, what is the thing that they're looking for? Like, and everyone comes for different purposes, different reasons, and somehow your event is a vehicle to get them there. And so how does it do that? Like, that's what you got to figure out.
I kind of have a button niche to where if I scroll too much and I don't see blue, I'm like, I need a button. My name is Jake Leslie. I handle all the design for ClickFunnels.
I'm Nick Sanders, and I build the funnels. I manage all the process behind making the funnels and coordinate the team, get everything ready, I guess.
The Funnel Hacking Live funnel is probably one of our biggest funnels that we make every year. All the pressure's on us to perform and to make it awesome. One mistake on a funnel building side or anything could literally cost us millions and millions of dollars. My design concept basically was based off of, if I was sitting in Funnel Hacking Live looking at that stage, what would be my perspective of actually seeing that? And so we're trying to kind of grab that energy throughout the page itself, so the user kind of gets that experience before even the event starts. So going from Russell to copy, to design, to funnel building, to testing, to implementing, that flow makes a huge, huge difference. Because I know that if I have copy and video, that I can kind of base my design off of that energy that's giving me. A big design tips that I really, really abide by is, one, keeping on brand, making sure you're staying consistent. Consistency is everything. All my headlines are the same, all the buttons are the exact same color, and there's no other distracting factors.
And that's the biggest thing, is getting people excited about the event. That's why we start with the big long sales page. We always put the promotional video up at the start to get people super excited, looking at the previous year, and so they get excited to read more about what's coming in this year's event.
Late nights when you're sitting there working and you just feel like you can't push anymore. This is one funnel away, one funnel away. That rings true in your head to be like, man, if I just make one thing that's gonna work, one funnel that's gonna actually work. When you go down a sales page, the audience from the top to the very bottom diminishes very, very rapidly. One key thing is a date and the button above the fold. So I can clearly see the call to action, I can read the label of the copy, I know exactly what I need to do to opt in. As we scroll down the page, you'll consistently see that same button as you go through, almost creating a habit to be like, okay, that's where I click, that's where I click, that's where I click.
It goes back into basically the strategy of a funnel. What is the goal of a funnel? Is to guide your customer to your specific goal that you want them to do. Whereas a website is super distracting and your customers have no idea what's going on.
Being able to use ClickFunnels is a huge advantage. Events are crazy, crazy stressful to begin with. This is the last thing that you want to worry about. Once the funnel's done, you're good. You can go off and spend months focusing on your event. This will just make money for you. So it's a vending machine online.
We also have back the promo video for this year's Funnel Hacking Live, which we're going to show you guys right now, because it's so exciting and cool and amazing. Any other adjectives we can throw in there? Essentials. Anyway, so I just want you guys to see. So it's kind of fun.
All it takes is one great idea, one big thing that's implemented, and everybody's just one funnel away from having the life they've always wanted.
We are funnel hackers. Here to remind you one more time that your life you want, the marriage you want, and the family that you want is going to be fueled by the businesses that you build. You're only one funnel away.
Let's watch it again. So I'm Dan Usher. I run ClickFunnels Studios, which is the production company that creates all the video content that sells Funnel Hacking Live. Wait, that creates the content? I've never had to describe what we do. My background is filming like cultural festivals and stuff like that, unique experiences around the world. So going into an event space, in a hotel room, not that cool. So I threw my little seasoning on it and sent it off to him, and turns out he liked it. It all started with when Russell said, bring the magic. Now, as a production company, our goal is to bring the magic every single day. ClickFunnels Studios is producing content for everything, Funnel Hacking Live being one of the biggest. Basically, we've studied and watched every single other event film that's out there. We study after movies for electronic music festivals and see what they're doing. We study music videos, lighting, color, so we can add it to the elements so we have an after movie that has a very distinct feel.
When we're growing up, we learn a lot of things about life from life that are just not true.
6 days a week, 1 day off a week, 1 week off every 6 months.
And I wish I had someone to educate me that college was going to bring me food stamps.
With ClickFunnels, it's the goal to be the pattern interrupt.
It's funny, I talk about like people should be funnel hacking and modeling people, right? When the first person does something, it is a pattern interrupt, so it works really, really well. Because then what happens next is then all the people who saw it are like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. They start modeling it and they start doing it, and all of a sudden like, it was you doing it, now it's like 10 people do it, and then 20, and then the pattern interrupt becomes the pattern. And so then like what you're doing is no longer effective because everyone's seeing the same thing. So for me, it's always like, I'm trying to see it fast and implement it, or trying to invent it, or whatever that is, because those creative risks are what cause the biggest swing, right? The first person to do it is the biggest pattern interrupt, and then it'll become the pattern eventually.
So for me, I still think the most important thing is for interviews, when you are recording interviews for your event, you need to get real sound bites. Most people are just looking for those conventional, this event was amazing, this is gonna take my business to the next level. It's all the same, and I feel like that's one of the biggest mistakes when people are hiring filmmakers for their events. The interviewer does not know the product, does not care about the people, and therefore they can't have a real conversation. Whereas we go in and we know exactly how to communicate with these people. At the end of the day, it's a conversation. We want to hear their story, how they got there, what this event really means to them, who's that one person that they met that's going to change their business, what is that one piece of information, that one little nugget or something that they're going to go home and be able to implement. Like, we want them to naturally tell us what they got out of this, so our interviews do not feel like normal interviews. They feel like we're just conversing.
This one's huge.
When I joined, it all started with just producing the videos for the funnel. That was the main selling point, but now as the event grows, we need countless retargeting ads for people that need, 7-8 touch points before they make a big decision to go to a live event. In order to do that, we need to get extra creative with ways that we're going to disrupt people from their day-to-day and remember that Funnel Hacking Live's coming and they better get their tickets. That's where the creativity of the whole team comes together, and we sit around brainstorming and then come up with the most absurd, ridiculous, funny, creative, or emotive ways that we could get people on board. Someone wants to create like an entire hyperlapse video and show off the event space as a whole of what people are going to visually see when they come to the hotel. Great. Someone says they want to make a Planet Earth parody and hire David Attenborough off Fiverr to do a voiceover about the funnel hackosaurus. Cool, we do that.
As the doors swing open, the hackers spring into motion, flocking at 30 miles per hour in a race towards seat supremacy.
If someone hears in a testimonial that the person says, oh, Funnel Hacking Live is where you come to get the fire, then let's light the room on fire.
So Funnel Hacking Live is the place that people come to get the fire.
These are all fire layers, around 134 layers, and then there's a second nested sequence, and this one has 63 layers.
So in total, about 420 layers.
Yeah, math.
Math, yeah.
I think of all the things that we do, I think Funnel Hacking Live is probably the most important, most valuable thing that we produce and we put on. But the problem is this also of everything we sell is by far the hardest thing to sell. You think about software, information products, like it's like an impulse buy, right? With this, it's not an impulse buy because someone's got to go and they have to get work off and they have to convince their spouse and they have to find babysitters for their kids and they got to flights and hotels and there's so many more decisions that are made, not just one. And so for us, it's like a constant grind to sell tickets.
Every year, how are we going to sell 4,500 tickets? How are we going to sell 600 tickets? How are we going to sell, 2,000 tickets? And it's just always an impossible task that ends up happening. I'm John Parks, and I'm the VP of Traffic at ClickFunnels. And what that means is that I run all the advertising and the social media and that whole department to make sure that there's always lots of excited people coming in the doors. There's data retargeting, there's website retargeting.
This is if they
watch a portion of the video. Yeah.
Is just...
So once they opt in or become your data.
We did some really fun things. One thing we did was a telethon where we set up a table full of our customer support agents with telephones, and we actually had a full telephone system going and broadcasted this streaming live. Since we don't have a TV station, we did it live into our Facebook channels and into our YouTube. And it was Russell teaching, just fantastic content, and the whole time was like, if you like what we're teaching here, you'll definitely like Funnel Hacking Live because that's even more of the same value. So that connection was really strong, and then we're just giving away tons of prizes.
This is one of those things that could be like the most brilliant marketing idea in the history of marketing as we know it, or it could be the biggest train wreck we know.
4, 3, 2, 1, we're live.
Are we live? We're live! What's up, everybody? Well, welcome to our first ever, and maybe the last ever, we'll find out afterwards, ClickFunnels Telethon.
That was really fun, and not only did we sell a good block of tickets during the telethon, we're able to reuse that recorded video of the telethon over time to sell a bunch more tickets. But as we know, there's very few people who will just buy a $1,000 ticket at the drop of a hat. And so we knew retargeting was gonna be our biggest strategy. So coming back in front of them and giving them more reasons or more understanding or more emotion to get them to actually buy that ticket, right? So we went for 10 days and then we just stopped. Logic, emotion, scarcity, urgency, those were the kind of the spectrums we were hitting. So it was really fun.
My gosh, anytime you can sell tickets and have fun doing it and get the cool thing is just from a sheer culture standpoint. I mean, people are like, what the heck are you guys doing?
Oh yeah,
Getting
I
blown
love
up by
being
people.
like the ones who invent new marketing. Like take something from the industry and bring it out, and everyone's like, oh, like Jim Edwards' text is just like
that was awesome.
I feel like we're at the top of our game right now, and everything we do is like unique and innovative, and people seem like, whoa, like you don't see Dice doing this, you don't see traffic conversion, no. They're still discounting tickets. We don't discount. We increase the value, we don't discount the price, so that's the difference.
Our first event that I did, I think cost us maybe $500,000, if that, to where now, just the food bill is $500,000. Enjoy the food, because it's not cheap. I am Clint Adams. I am the Director of Accounting and Finance, officially on the org chart, though my title changes depending on what I need to do and who I'm talking to. We went from registering 600 people my first year to about 4,000 or more this last year, and we've gone from essentially $500,000 to over $2 million as we've grown the event. We've probably quadrupled our costs, mostly the hotel.
So San Diego was selected before I came into the role, but I know that there was a lot of internet marketers down in San Diego, and it's an easy flight for us. The location was perfect. It was a beautiful hotel right on the marina there. And the hotel size was perfect. Like, we just took over pretty much the whole hotel in event space. And it was a fun first event to put on. Then we went to Dallas, and Dallas was a location we wanted to try just because it is kind of like in the middle a little bit more, and the space to fit 2,500 people too. And we had dinners that we did on site, and so we just needed to make sure we were able to take over plenty of that hotel. And then from Dallas, we went to Orlando. And the reason why we went to Orlando is because we were growing quite a bit bigger. Our concern was we were gonna have to go to a convention center. And that's not the look I love. Like, when I do an event, I want everyone to feel they're somewhere special. If I went to a convention center, I'm putting another $200,000 into an event that needs to be made pretty when you get it right off the bat at the hotel.
Typically, our hotel's maybe a little over $1 million. We went from being this small town event, trying to find people to please help us throw this event, to now we have the audio video crew. They went from 50, 60 to now they're several $100,000.
We've got probably 40, 45 guys in here right now, on and off throughout the day. We've got about 1,000 feet of truss, close to 200 moving lights, about 80 non-moving static lights, 65-foot wide by 18-foot tall video wall, a concert PA coverage. It's gonna be a hell of a show, man. It's gonna help create an environment, right? It's gonna be creating an environment for all the attendees who are coming here to learn and pick up knowledge over the next few days. It'll be good. I mean, listen, it creates an atmosphere, it creates an energy. Sure, you could disseminate a message with just screens and projectors or whatever the case is, but you're trying to create a movement. I mean, hell, you could do it with a webinar if you wanted to go basic enough, right? But you're trying to create a movement, get 4,000 people motivated behind one concept, and that's what you're gonna be able to do with this room. So, I mean, you name it, we got a lot of moving parts in here.
Hey, man.
How's it going?
Amazing, how you doing?
Good. Doing great.
You start popping it all up?
It's about, yeah, we are 15 minutes away from taking it all out.
Hotel rent, these kind of things, you just have to haul them everywhere you go.
What's that?
All the screens,
all the stuff.
Everything. The hotel does the truss and the motors. Everything else we trucked in. Okay. And earlier today, there were like 6 53-foot trailers out on the loading dock.
What is happening? Just for context purposes, our very first event, I don't think we had any rigging at all. I think we had 600 people.
Lights.
We didn't.
There was no rigging. There definitely wasn't 2 sets of screen. We had
a foam board behind the stage. That was our side.
We had a Ferrari and a Corvette there.
Yeah, taped to the curtain.
Yeah.
So it's bigger, but hopefully it still feels super intimate because everything's gonna be close. So
it's like 7.5 times what we had the first time.
Huge. Huge.
We wouldn't have been able to scale to a 4,000 person or more event without Sage. And so that's been the one big cost. The amount of pressure or stress on us knowing that we have the Sage crew there to support and help has helped us immensely.
So my goal with you today is just to give you some really macro level overviews on what we're going to do together this week and give you some context of what's happening behind the scenes, because I think it makes your job so much easier.
I'm Barry Baumgardner, and I am the founder and executive producer at Sage Event Management.
We're the event production company behind Funnel Hacking Live.
It's different. Just remember, you're not actually running the iPads.
Almost always for our clients, money is almost secondary. They really care about impact. So when I think about live events and how we're designing them, the clients we work with, we're always starting with what kind of impact do we want to make? How are we going to design the coaching program to deliver that? And then how are we going to reverse engineer the live event to deliver the coaching program?
One of the things that I really liked about how this event worked is even though we were at this massive property, when you came into this event, you started to recognize little touches like, wait a second, ClickFunnels really is here.
When you walked in and you start talking to the people that you're interacting with at the front desk, they're wearing ClickFunnels hats. The TVs behind the front desk are showing a loop of previous ClickFunnels events. As you start to walk to your room, there's signage all over the place. That's ClickFunnels branding.
From our perspective, community building is one of the most important things you do at a live event. Everywhere they went, we wanted them to feel like, yes, we're funnel hackers. We wanted them to be really super psyched to be part of this tribe.
And that was a big thing that we did this year. There was a lot invested by Russell and the team in branding and in print.
We'd never done anything to that scale, which is amazing. That, I want to say, was $30,000, $40,000 to get all that done, maybe a little more.
It's all of a sudden like you're no longer at a Gaylord property, you're actually at the ClickFunnels Hotel.
If you want to create a culture and you want to create a community, branding isn't just your logo. Whatever you're selling, whether it's your info product or your actual physical product, if you want people to expect a high perceived value of what you do, you can send that message by giving them high quality apparel and promotional products up front. My name's Brandon Pugmire, and I am the owner of a company called Imprint City. I actually have been working with Russell's team before ClickFunnels began. Of course, back then, the orders weren't quite as big. We did t-shirts to begin with, and then we started doing long sleeve t-shirts. People wanted some hoodies, water bottles, hats. That was pretty cool. And then the backpacks, we sold out of them in the first day and a half. One thing I've learned from Russell, when he was coming to me and asking for options, he originally was like, hey, we want the most expensive t-shirts available. And I was showing him other options. He's like, no, I want the best quality. The other thing I think that ClickFunnels has done, at first they had some messages on their shirts that was really about ClickFunnels. The messages have morphed to where the message on the ClickFunnels shirts is the message that the client or the customer, the user of ClickFunnels, it's their message too. And when you can connect the message of your client in your message, it's a home run. A lot of companies put their logo on the shirt and they give it out. But when you give out a shirt that's actually, hey, this is a shirt I want to wear because this is my message, this is who I am. Like funnel hacker, I'm a funnel hacker. Or a lot of the shirts Russell does, he'll put a manifesto on it that kind of has a philosophy behind it that the person wearing it's like, that is cool, I want to wear that. And so it sends this message. It's not just ClickFunnels message, it's a shared message with the user. And so when you can combine the company message with the user message and you put them into one, it's perfect.
Surround yourselves with the dreamers, the doers, the believers, and the thinkers. Most of all, surround yourself with those who see greatness within you even when you don't see it yourself, which is what family's all about. So this is what the community's about, is even when you don't believe in yourself, surround yourself with amazing people who believe in you.
One of the things that you guys are best at, we saw this last year, is just extraordinary customer care. Like, you care deeply, you're really committed to the brand and to changing lives, and when you come into an event feeling that way, the attendees feel it, and it makes a huge difference. What's happening today that's really critical is registration, and this is one of your first touch point moments. The person who you're seeing at registration left behind a family or a dog or kids or clients. They had to get on a plane or get in a car. They had to pack the bag. There's been some sacrifice for them to get here. They may have also incurred delays at the airport, delays with the pickup, delays in checking into their room. By the time they get to you, I promise you, whatever has stood in their way has started to build up and be like, I sure hope this is worth it. I know this was a mistake. I shouldn't have even have come. This is gonna be a whole challenging week. And we have to remind them at registration that they made the right choice. Like, I really see registration as right choice moment. Like, that kind of energy is welcome to the family. We're so happy you're here. How did you get here? Where did you come from? What made you decide to come? For those of you who are floating during registration, having those conversations can be the difference between standing in a dull line and having an enlivening conversation that reminded you of why this is the right choice.
50. Yeah, we have 50 people in line. 55. We haven't even started. Oh my goodness. Look at all those people, Dan. Should we get a big early bird? Hey, can we get like a big early bird hoorah over here? Right? Hey, turn and look at Dan.
I'm Blake.
I'm Blake.
When attendees are coming in, Robbie's on the front lines. If you don't know Robbie Summers, he is the loudest person I've ever met.
Funnel Hacking Live 2020!
where he gets it from.
It is Wednesday, Funnel Hacking Live. We're ready to rock.
Our employees feed off of that, and then the attendees feed off those employees, and they feed off of Robbie. So rule number 1, get a hype man or woman.
Good, we're in ClickFunnels 2019. Woo!
So once they get past Robbie, like then it's the rest of our staff. Like our job is to have that smiling face, to keep that excitement up.
Is this your first time?
Yes.
Dude, awesome, man.
I am pumped.
Dude.
I'm gonna be in the 2 Comma Club next year, baby. 2 Comma Club. Oh, I'm sorry. My excitement's contagious.
We got to be like, hey, you're here for Funnel Hacking Live? That's so amazing. Like, registration's right down there. After that, you're going to go get your amazing swag bag. Check out this shirt. This is the shirt you guys are getting this year. You have to get that excitement because they've gone through a lot of stuff to get to that event, so you got to get that energy up the second they walk in to register. You know, our whole goal and mission while we're at that event is to make it the best experience for every single attendee. And if we're not keeping that energy up, if we're not excited, if we're not pumped, if we're not loving what we're doing, they sense that and their energy falls. So once you register, these people come in, they have their name badge, they have their swag bag, they now have their shirt, like they're ready to go. They're sitting there, they're hanging out, the excitement keeps building and building and building. And all of a sudden, a registration that's supposed to be a boring process, this tiny process just to get them to the event, is now like one of the coolest things they've seen. And that's day 0. Like we haven't even started the event. They're just jacked to be there and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. All of a sudden, our doors are getting backed up and backed up and backed up. We got people yelling louder and louder and louder to communicate with everybody, telling them, hey, we're gonna be opening the door soon. And then finally we get that call, and it's time, hey, we knock on the doors from the inside, we open it up, people freak and just rush in like crazy. Everybody's losing their mind, their staff's losing their mind, the attendees are losing their mind, music's blasting, it's even louder than it was before. And literally all that starts from registration. It's a boring, simple process, but what it's supposed to be is not that way at Funnel Hacking Live.
We start midday here on day 1, so you've got more registration. And then we get to our opening. And the opening is where Russell will really kick it off and set the tone for the event with the help of Devon, who's going to take the stage first and get that crowd going.
This is not about reading cue cards. If you want to get Bob from accounting to come on stage and read a cue card because he's good at the Christmas parties, hey, you have at it, your event's probably going to suck. I don't mean to sound mean, but that's not what this is about.
Get on your feet and welcome to the stage your MC for the event, Mr.
My job is to be the through line through the entire event from start to finish. So I'm the very first person your audience sees, and I'm probably the very last person they see. Before every speaker, after every speaker, before every break, I'm giving them instructions. And so if I can't build rapport with them, then I might as well not even try. The letters MC normally stand for Master of Ceremonies. I would say that my real role is more like an ME, which is the Master of Energy. I want you to think of me kind of like your event coach. It's to be the through line from speaker to speaker to speaker to speaker to speaker to speaker to speaker. It's to tell the audience, here's what you need to do, here's where you need to be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's to say, here's how what this speaker is speaking about, here's how this is important to the entire event.
So give yourselves a round of applause for being sexy.
Right? You didn't tell Bob to do all that. All you told Bob was to do was introduce the speakers. So Bob's gonna go up and read the cue cards. Reading cue cards is not room management. Reading cue cards is not feeling the room, feeling what's going on, being able to engage and have fun with the crowd. Reading the cue cards is, give it up for the last speaker. Our next speaker is Mary, and she wrote 3 books, and she's really great. Give it up for Mary. The hell was that? It was what you told Bob to do. So, you can't get mad at Bob for that. Yeah, that's what I would say about Bob from accounting.
Somebody you don't know. What is up, world? How are you?
When you hire people who have the experience, then what you're really paying for are all of the things that you don't know that you don't know. They're hiring for that very first consultation that says, stop right there, your schedule is off from the jump. Because you said 9, 10, 11, 12, and schedules don't work like that.
Funnel Hacking Live, are you ready to get this thing going?
You're hiring somebody to go out there, read the energy in the room, realize that the last speaker was a snooze, and that's okay because he or she was talking about something very technical. Cool, not mad at that. Throw the cue card out the window. Find out the essence of what the speaker is going to speak about and communicate that in such a way that wakes the audience the hell back up. That's what you're paying for. Those are the intangibles. Those are the, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that I needed that. Yes, 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 yes. So like, you get what you pay for. The most important time for the event MC, 60% of my work, is done in the first 15 minutes on day number 1, the very first time I go on stage. That first 15 minutes sets the tone for everything. Because I will do an exercise with the audience where I'm gonna say, welcome to the stage. And what you're gonna do is you have to stand up and you have to go crazy and you have to respond the way as if I'm bringing you to the stage and showing me how you would want the crowd to react when you're on stage. And so we'll do that exercise and that starts me training them. So now the expectation is set before the event kicks off that this is how we introduce the speakers. So it's trained. So it's trained so much that even if I get to a speaker later on in the day and I forget to tell them to stand up, they've already been trained to stand up.
I don't believe in talent. I believe in good habits, and all of us can choose good habits.
Stop waiting to be happy, start generating happy.
Decide I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna die working on it, but stop letting yourself off the hook and be willing to go down so you can go up.
Spend $50, make $500. That's the funnel, guys. No, we got more, but.
Your feet and welcome to the stage, Mr. Russell.
The day that we had the idea for ClickFunnels, we sat in a room for about a week, whiteboarding out the whole vision of it. And on the way, taking him back to the airport, he was flying back home where he lives in Atlanta. He said one thing before we got out of the car. He said, hey, really quick though, if we're gonna do this whole ClickFunnels thing, I don't wanna be like an employee, I wanna be your partner. I remember being so scared, like, I don't know if I'm an entrepreneur, I control everything all the time. I was so scared. And in that moment, I made the second greatest decision in my life, outside of marrying my wife. And I told him yes. And that man is Todd Dickerson, who's my co-founder and partner in ClickFunnels. Let's give Todd a huge round of applause. Stand up, Todd, come on out.
What's up? Oh man, wow. What's up, funnel hackers? Woo!
So my role going into Funnel Hacking Live is still very much behind the scenes, other than one presentation that Russell and I do just about every year. And we actually talk about things that have happened over the past year and things that we're planning to do going forward in the next year.
During the ClickFunnels event, we always do a presentation we call the ClickFunnels State of the Union Address.
I think that most software companies' events are literally only focused on kind of the State of the Union aspect. Like they get up there and that's all they talk about. They're like, okay, we got these features, we got this product, we got this thing we're doing, and then it's like, have a good day, see you guys. That's what Apple does, right? Like Apple gets up on stage, here's the things we're releasing, here's the timelines that you're gonna see them coming out, see you guys later. Everybody's excited, it's cool, but we focus more on actually like the whole experience. How do we say like, oh, so this is a problem, and like, here's the solution. Yeah. But instead it's like, you ask the problem. Yeah. And then because I'm like, here's a problem we saw, like, and that's how I was phrasing it at first, and then I'm like, but that just, it doesn't sound, it sounds dumb.
Like, yeah, let's do that. Like, I'll play like dumb, like, and you're like, oh, well, guess what we're doing?
Well, guess what? We're working on that now. That's cool, I like that. Okay. That'll help me, because I was a little concerned about this, because I'll be going for like 120 slides.
Like, if you look at each one of these features of ClickFunnels, these are whole companies. It's all built in to work together. And as fast as we expanded in the number of users that rely on this software. We're running 77,000 companies, not one. Yeah. No pressure, right?
This is the thing I need your help with. He's gonna talk about some new features, some new things, stuff they're creating, stuff they're thinking about, stuff that's already live. But I need your guys' feedback to know like what you want the most. Steve, can you stand up to scream real quick to show you guys?
Steve.
Yeah, that's what we need. And the louder the screams, the more likely we are to create that first. Cheer as loud as you possibly can for the features you want next, and then we'll prioritize based on the loudness of the room. Does that sound fair?
It's a good way to do a roadmap, right?
This sub-users project has to be live at Funnel Hacking Live. No questions asked. Like, we promised it last year. If there's anything that's gonna block us from actually making this in progress turn to completed in the next few weeks, like, we've gotta make that happen. So, see if there's any other ones like that. That's basically what we've gotta go through here and find now.
I always want to focus on making sure our users know that we're listening to them. So we take feature requests all year long. We listen to customer support requests.
Set up, it's connected, everything's done. That's all you gotta do. It's that simple these days, right?
The event gives us a chance to actually tell people that we're listening and show them that we're listening. And we may think that we have the best idea in the world, but that's not always the case. Sometimes we just need to listen to the customers and hear what they're saying.
Not by mistake, day 2 is more of the same. And a typical Sage event is 3 days. So I also look at this as like kind of a bonus day of content, connection, and community. Like our average host doesn't have the stamina for 4 days, really, truly. I mean, I think Russell is a force of nature.
All right, so we just got off stage at day 2 of Funnel Hacking Live. I'm feeling a little sick, super sore. And one of my friends told me that the best thing to do when you're on stage every day is do an ice bath, but I'm scared of an ice bath. So I called the manliest man I know and said, can you help me do an ice bath? This is Anthony.
And I said, don't you have anyone else to call? I'll be right there. You like psychologically move into it and completely surrender and like sort of gently scan your body and just let all tension go.
Yes.
All right.
The Biohacker Bros delivery service. Here we go.
And it's like you'll be in this very stressful situation for other people, but like you're like training your mind and your body and your nervous system to remain calm. And then you'll feel the benefit afterwards. You'll have this like uplift in energy and mood, but it also translates to real life. Like things roll off your shoulders more easily. You stay more cool, calm, and collected because you've trained it.
We're going for 45 degrees. Colette, are you gonna go next?
Maybe.
It really does. Like it's 2 minutes that pays dividends for a day.
Yeah, perfect. I'd say that's about 38 degrees right now.
Yeah.
You're good. Breathe.
You got this. Slow breathing down. Big deep breath.
Forward progress. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Good. Breathe.
Oh my gosh.
Find your breath. Good. Find your breath.
There's the bad part.
You got it.
Oh my gosh. That's actually
Good. Big deep breath and slow it down.
Mind over matter.
Slow it down. There you go.
Ouch.
Relax your face. Good. You're doing great. You got it. You're doing great. You're a warrior.
Okay. I'm going.
Good.
1, 2, 3.
Good.
Oh my gosh.
You got this. Don't think about it. You got it. Come in.
Drop now.
Nice. Good job.
Push it out. Big one in, belly expands. Hold. Push it out. That was great.
Think of your husband.
I think he's crazy, but biohacking seems to work, so might as well do what you have to do when you're on stage for all those hours, right?
What we're doing here, to me, is a bonus day of extra content, connection, and community, because we're doing that same thing here. And then what we do at the end of day 2 is super important. It's called roundtables. And roundtables, much like Rolodex, are all about connection and community, because what happens there is you have your students, your speakers, your trusted advisors in a room at a table, and any person can go sit down and ask these superstars anything they want to.
But it started off first year, we called it a hackathon back then. It was people coming in with their computer, getting together, working on their funnels, and having support people there to help launch that right then in real time. My name is Brent Peters, and I'm VP of Coaching and Events at ClickFunnels. Year 2, we started roundtables. And what it is, we literally have roundtables in a room, and we invite some funnel hackers that have had success. to sit at a round table, and it allows for our members to be able to come in and sit down and ask questions to these experts. And these are all people who have had success using our software. And we thought, you know, what a better way to have people be able to ask questions and model what they were doing. It's refreshing to be able to rub shoulders with people who've been there, they've gone through what you're going through, and they can empathize. Just a really interactive experience. So a really cool thing we added more recently for Funnel Hacking Live was our funnel Rolodex. Hey Miles, hope you're doing good. I have a couple really cool ideas I want to run by you. Let me know when you get a chance and we can come in and we can meet about it. People that we partner up, people who sell services or help build funnels for folks, come in and they can be able to kind of explain what they do and essentially offer their services to the members of our community. So if you're looking for someone who does video work, you're looking for someone who can build funnels, you're looking for someone who can be a potential accountant or someone who keep your books, you can find that at the Rolodex event. It just helps people get clarity and they're finally able to build their funnels.
The easiest way for you is to just sign up for our lead, for our opt-in form.
You know, it's really cool. Funnel Hacking Live, you're in the general session room for most of the days, but we always typically have after hours or late night type of activities.
And we have arrived.
All the funnels.
All of the funnels are inside with some beverages and food and people and more live music with some kick butt bands. So let's go in there, pump it up, have a good time. Let's go.
Down there, all red.
It's invaluable time that you have with your members in your community, and you need to take every advantage you have of that. It really will make a way better experience for them, and it's proven that way for us. At the end of the day, looking at feedback from post-events, networking is so huge. Like, that's what people want. They want a cool environment to be able to network with cool people.
And something to take pictures of, like just social proof again, and
live music just warms up space.
It does, man. Oh, live music's the best, and even if they suck at singing, it's still like, this is cool.
It is. So it was just one more touch that people knew that we cared and we thought about just something different.
Yeah. Again, doing it again this year with more live music, more lounges, more everything. So it's gonna be, I'm pumped.
Oh wow, what do you got there?
I don't know, it's something from ClickFunnels.
Wow, what did ClickFunnels send us?
I don't know, let's see.
You have to help your audience break their 4-minute mile. Now, 1954, Roger Bannister broke what everybody thought was impossible. The 4-minute mile, it wasn't possible. It wasn't supposed to happen, right? He did it. And then what happened after he did it? People saw it was possible and they're like, dang, he did it, I can do it. Okay, and for me, I had a similar experience. I wrote the date down this morning so I wouldn't forget. August 17th, 2004 was the day that the 2-minute mile, or the 4-minute mile was broken for me. I was just gotten into this business and I was happy. My goal when I got started was $1,000 a month. If I could make $1,000 a month, that's it. I'll be free. My wife and I can go on dates. We could get a nice car. $1,000 a month would change our life.
Our basement. We're hoping to have some renters very soon, very soon.
My email address at the time was moneyforcollege@juno.com. And this email popped in and it said, subject line was something like, we did it. I was like, did what? And I click on this and it was an email from John Reese. And John at the time, I'd heard about this. He was launching a new course called Traffic Secrets. In an email he explained, he said, look guys, we launched Traffic Secrets earlier today. He sort of broke down. He said, at 18 hours, we had sold 1,000 copies at $1,000. So that means we made $1 million in just 18 hours. And I remember sitting there, everything around me just got quiet. And I sat back in my chair and I was like, you made $1 million in a day. My goal was $1,000 a month. This guy made $1 million in a day. I didn't know that was even possible, but he did it. I was like, that's my goal. I don't want to make $1 million a day, but I want to make $1 million. I was starting the math. He had a $1,000 course. He sold 1,000 copies. What if I created a course with $1,000 and I sold 3 a day? If in a year, I'd make $1 million in a year. And it became so clear, so crystal clear to me that it was possible that like it became real for me and I could taste it. I went back and afterwards I started working. I was like, I'm gonna make $1 million. I'm gonna make it, like it wasn't even in my radar prior to that. And I was like, I'm gonna make $1 million, make $1 million. The first year I went for it, I didn't make $1 million. Next year I tried again, same thing, I was shy of like 50, 60,000. Like I didn't make it 2 years in a row. And I was like, John did it, I can do this, I have to do it. And the third try, we did it. We broke, I think we ended up doing $1.2 million that year. And I was like, God, we did it. But for me, the reason why I was able to do that, the reason why I'm here in front of you guys today is because John broke the 4-minute mile for me. We wanted to do this for inside ClickFunnels. I was like, what's the equivalent for us of a 4-minute mile? Like, what can we give people to give them a goal to shoot after? And I thought, well, if you have a funnel that makes $1 million, like that's pretty cool. And I was like, I wonder inside of ClickFunnels how many have made over $1 million. And so I had Dave and Tracy and some of the guys go through all the stats and pull everything out. I was expecting we had maybe a dozen people that made $1 million in the funnel. Anyway, Dave got the report back and messaged me. He's like, dude, we've had over 50 people that have made over $1 million so far. I was like, are you kidding me? So this is we decided to call it the 2 Comma Club Award. In $1 million, there's 2 commas. And so for you guys, every single time you have a funnel that makes over $1 million, we're gonna send you one of these amazing trophies to put on your wall. Is that exciting?
Okay, we've just received another package here at the office, so...
I wanted to open it right here on camera for all of y'all.
Something that me and my team have earned together.
It's like a kid on Christmas morning.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Honestly, guys, I never thought in a million years.
This is for all of us. Yeah.
This is a dream come true, man. I visualized this over and over again.
So many years to get to this.
Wow. So this is not the only one. But there we go.
Now, the coolest thing though is like, we brought these all here. And I would say probably 2/3 of those people that got that are here today. In fact, we're gonna bring them on stage and we're gonna give these to them. Because I want all of you guys who aren't here yet to see that and realize it's not just a couple people, almost 100 of your peers have already done it. So this is the one that we'll be sending to everyone. We're getting mini ones made of everyone, and like our hallways will be wrapped in these things. When people come to our offices, like, dang, everyone makes $1 million in ClickFunnels. I need you too.
We're only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plaques away from filling this whole entire wall.
Check this thing out. This is absolutely insane. How many are you at now?
The 4-minute mile has been broken. I want every single one of you guys that this is your goal, is at least one of these to keep going on, because every time you get a funnel breaks $1 million, we're gonna send you another one. That's my goal for you guys, okay? So for you guys, you gotta think back into your business, like what's that result that your people want, that they're dreaming about and desiring? Like, if I could have that, that'd be the greatest thing in the world. And then create something that gives them the ability to aspire to go towards that, okay? So help them break the 4-minute mile.
And as we bring attention to these action takers, to these people who stopped talking about it and started being about it, who took what Russell said and actually put it into motion. As we do that, I want you to imagine the entire time you being on this stage. I want you to imagine that it's your turn next. Can you do that? Yeah? Yeah. If you're gonna be on the stage walking across next year, raise your hand high, say, I am. I believe it.
So this is a really important night. Then they have the OUR premiere, OUR Triple Take, which is the new premiere for Operation Underground. So we want them coming back from this into this. Really, really important. If you can put 4,300 people in a room and every one of them gives $1, $10, $100, $1,000, and you're able to give in something you really profoundly believe in, and you know you're helping to make a change in the world, you feel better about yourself. You feel better about this community, and you feel like you're part of the community. So while it is about connection and it is about donations, it is also very much about community. And what we're here to do is build a community.
The first day of Funnel Hacking Live is all about belief. We're trying to get them to believe in 2 things. Number one, that this business model that we love, that we preach, that we talk about with funnels is gonna work. And then number 2, that they can actually do it, right? And then we try to give them something bigger than just the money to look towards, right? Because when money's the motivator, it's really hard to like stay motivated. And so we always introduce the charity on day number 1, and we show like, look, this is what money can do. And by them having that shift in their belief and their understanding, they're way more likely to actually be successful in business.
Did you know that every time you create a funnel with ClickFunnels, you are actually helping a child in Africa? Did you know that?
I remember when I first got into business, I always thought like, that'd be cool to like do a charity thing. And I was always had in my head like, well, when we're successful, then we'll do a charity. Or when we make more money, like it was always this when thing. When ClickFunnels launched, we kind of weaved it into the DNA initially. It was like, hey, when every funnel's built, let's donate $1. Like that, it started from the very, very beginning. And it's crazy because when people understand the mission, it bonds them to you at a different level than if you don't. You look at companies like Tom's Shoe, who when every single shoe that was sold, they bought a shoe and gave it to some third world country, someone who needed a shoe, and like that social mission was huge. And I think people want to work with companies and brands and people who aren't just about money, just about themselves. Like there's more of a soul to the company than just a money thing. And so not only does it give your customers a vision of what's possible for themselves, it also helps them to connect with you, to trust you, to like you, because you're not just in it for the money. And one of the charities is Village Impact.
I got involved with this because I love Stu and I love Amy and I love them, and I was grateful enough they took me there and let me experience it. But I'd love for you to just kind of talk for a few minutes just about where this whole thing came from and why you're doing it.
I'm talking to the chairman of this African community. We're talking about building a school, and then I said, how much does it cost to fund the full-time salary of a teacher? And he said, it'll be about $100 a month. At the time, we were selling a software product for $100. And I made this connection. If I sell one more product a month, that could fund the full-time salary of a teacher. And then I just kind of like expanded on that. The more money I make, the more impact I could have. And that really started to pump me up.
To kick off like the giving process, we wanted to do something really fun. We got a huge check made up for World Teacher Aid. We're gonna fund the next classroom for $12,000. So there you go, Stu.
You guys are amazing.
Thanks to you guys and your creation of funnels, we were able to raise $46,000 for World Teacher Aid. So give you guys a check. In the last 12 months, she has done 78,460 funnels. Last year, you guys have built 133,737 funnels that have gone live inside of ClickFunnels. We want to give you guys, hopefully, the biggest check physically you've ever gotten before next year.
Wow! That is crazy. You guys. We're just so grateful because every year we get invited to come back, and it's not something that we take for granted. The work that we do is in what's called IDP camps. These people were removed from their everyday life because of the violence that was happening and just moved to this rural area in the middle of nowhere. And to see their progress that's happening year over year, little by little, it's incredible, and it's having a huge ripple effect. The fact that this is woven into the business model of ClickFunnels is humbling, and I'm so grateful to Todd and Russell and the whole ClickFunnels team. Huge credit to you guys. Thank you so much for being part of this community, and thank you for contributing whether you realize it or not. And thank you to the whole ClickFunnels team. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We've had a chance now to bring a whole group of funnel hackers to Kenya with us and let them experience it and be changed by it as well.
Confusion soft. We are ClickFunnels. Yay!
We told our community all about all of you, and we told them how special you are. And our community wanted to help with the vision. Now there are tens of thousands of entrepreneurs who every day are working to raise money for you. Asante sana.
So today trying to be a really cool day, and I think it's going to be a day that for the rest of my life I'll look back on. I got a phone call today.
Who's Elder Ballard?
He's one of the 12 apostles. My hands are sweating right now. I'm kind of freaking out. Don't mind us eavesdrop from here. Okay, so basically he said there's a group called the Underground.
Underground Railroad?
This child sex.
Yes!
Yeah.
What the heck?
And they said that they were in a meeting and they said that for some reason they mentioned your name and thought you had some technology and skills that could help us with this mission. He said they think that you're a big piece in this, can help save these kids from this thing. And so.
My name's Tim Ballard. I'm the founder and CEO of Operation Underground Railroad, which is a private organization dedicated to eradicating the world of child sex slavery. So I spent 12 years as a special agent, as an undercover operator for the US government, doing anti-trafficking work. After 12 years of working these kind of cases, I decided to break away and start a private organization, an organization that wouldn't be prohibited by jurisdictional limitations and bureaucracy. We're in 20 countries, 22 states in the United States. And we sit down with law enforcement in these countries and in these states and we say, what do you need so that you can be empowered to rescue more children? Oftentimes in foreign countries, one of the first things on their list is we need you to go undercover because it's the Americans who are the demand. It's the Americans who are the clientele that are abusing our children. So you guys can infiltrate quicker. Unfortunately, we are the demand in this country. We're the highest consumer, highest producer of child pornography, which means countries like Colombia or Haiti or Thailand, they can use us, sign us up as undercover operators, and we can infiltrate those black markets because we can connect with those dirtbag pedophiles who are hurting kids all around the world. We can find them, infiltrate them. So that's what we do, and that's why we created Operation Underground Railroad. Probably the biggest challenge is making people aware that it's a problem. It's hard to fight something when the majority of people you're talking to don't know what you're talking about. The other reason is as a private organization, we can provide a vehicle for you, for the public to get involved. This is a problem that's not gonna go away by sitting back and saying the governments are gonna handle this. It's way too big. It's hard for decent people, and I still think most of the people of the world are decent people. It's hard for them to wrap their heads around. But if they don't accept it, and it's one thing, by the way, to accept it, and a whole other thing to stay in it.
Earlier that year, I'd been made aware of the organization and what they do, and we decided to help fund a documentary to get the message out about these children and how we can save them.
And a lot of people in that situation walk away. Russell says, I'm gonna dive deeper. I'll go as far as I can go with you.
If you're in a dark place, there's a whole bunch of cockroaches. If you shine a light in the middle, then all the cockroaches have to scatter. And so we looked at this documentary, it's like us shining a light to try to end this problem and try to solve it. And so we spent a whole bunch of time up to the event, creating it, preparing it, and then we actually showed it at the first Funnel Hacking Live in one of the most emotional days/weeks of my entire life. Special, huh? I got a call probably 6 months ago from someone who asked if I would be involved. I didn't even know what it was, and that night I started Googling and trying to figure out, and I don't know if you guys watched the Funnel Hacker TV stuff, but I made a video that night. I said, I'm pretty sure that my life is gonna change forever after this.
I don't know what happened, a phone call out of the blue. I didn't even believe it. Like, hey, we want to just follow you around and do something. And then I just saw this. I mean, I'm totally blown away. Thank you. Thank you so much. This couldn't have happened without ClickFunnels. It could not have happened. This whole thing, I'm blown away. Thank you guys so much.
There's these two charities that they're so near and dear to my heart, and they're so different, but the spirit, the feeling's the same. I'm like, on one side, we're trying to educate these children, and on the other side, we're trying to liberate children. And all of a sudden, like, the phrase popped in my head, liberate and educate. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's what we're doing for these children. We're liberating them from captivity, from slavery, and then we're educating them, giving them a future. And I saw the parallels also in the pattern of, that's what ClickFunnels does as a company as well. Like, we take entrepreneurs and we liberate them from their jobs, from things they don't love, and then we educate them on how to grow their companies. And as I was looking at those two things, I was like, that's what the mission is of ClickFunnels, is to liberate and educate both entrepreneurs and these children who can't do it by themselves. When you have a community who have been inspired and their goals are bigger than just themselves, like it's not my trying to figure out how to pay my rent today, but how do I solve this problem? How do I help these children? How, like, they're thinking bigger than themselves. The monetary goals become super easy because they're looking for something bigger, and they'll work harder, they'll outwork anybody, because it's not just about themselves, it's about the change they're gonna make in other people's lives as well.
That'll save a whole lot of kids' lives. That's just amazing and beautiful. So congratulations. I meant what I said about you up there. I don't say things lightly. I have such respect for you, Russell, and you're the real thing. You're humble, you're beautiful, you add so much value. That's why I came back. Even though I don't see you, I consider you a friend and somebody I respect. And what I love that you're doing now is you're teaching them to be givers and seeing the value of that and getting hooked on that. You know, to me, that's the most important thing. So congratulations, man. Thanks again.
I definitely do know the fear of a lot of people about incorporating charity, especially in their events, is that, you know, people come with the wallet and there's so much money in their wallet, and if they spend it on charity, they may not spend it with other things you have. And Funnel Hiking Live that happened in Orlando was the one that we raised the most money for the charity. And it also, interesting enough, was the event that we made the most money in coaching sales afterward, which seemed backwards. Like, you wouldn't think like those two things are tied together. I don't know, from a business decision, like, you getting people to open their wallets for a good cause, it helps them to be more likely to open the wallets for you to continue to help them in the future with coaching, with your back-end sales, whatever that thing might be on the other side, because you have this opportunity to really change them.
We've been serving them hard for 3 days, and generally here is a sell them easy moment. We know, without question, they are in 2 Comma Club X. There is no chance, if they do the work, that they will not be a better entrepreneur. They will not do more, be more, and have more in 2019.
This is where we give people the ability that if they want to continue this process to get them from where they are today to where they want to be, this is where we make the offer. The whole event's been choreographed for this, right? Before people come on stage, I show them what's possible. I give them the results of what their goal is. Like, here's the goal, you want to get a 2 Comma Club award. Like, they see the vision, and now let me show you guys the path and the process. There's 3 core things I need to get them to believe. The very first thing they have to believe is that this vehicle, this process is actually possible, right? So I'm telling stories to break any false beliefs. Anything else is possible besides this one thing. That's step number 1. We have over 505 total people who have won the 2 Comma Club Award, and then 240 new ones since last Funnel Hiking Live. 241 people. That's almost 1 person a day has hit the 2 Comma Club since last time we were all here hanging out together. Is that amazing? Okay? And these numbers are going up. These aren't some like business scholars. These are your friends. These are your peers. Look around. They're sitting next to you right now. Okay? This shouldn't be weird. This is happening all the time, so you can't dismiss it, you guys. But guess what I'm most excited for out of all this stuff? The thing I'm most excited for is you guys on the stage next year. The next thing is people start thinking, well, that's really cool for them, but like, what about me? Like, how is it possible for me? So next set of this presentation is for me to help them understand that not only is it possible for people, but it's actually possible for you, specifically you. Some of you guys are sitting here in the audience and you're watching these people come on stage, and instead of saying like, what does he believe? What do these people believe? They've already done it. You're sitting back saying, no, like I believe something different. For you to be successful, it's not about conforming the rest of the world to your beliefs. It's about figuring out what the truth is, then conforming your beliefs to that. If you want to be successful, you find people who are already successful and you model them. Okay, it's not find people who are already successful and convince them that you're right. So I'm telling stories about people who are in the same situation, like who was in the audience last year sitting in the stage thinking they weren't going to be there, that this year came on stage and got the award. And then the third false belief I have to break is, people are scared. Like, I believe this is the right process, I believe I can do it, but like, oh, my spouse or my kids don't believe me, or I got a day job, or all the other external things. And I've got to show them those other things aren't going to hold you back if you plug into this community, if you plug into the peer group that you've just gotten around. Don't ask the question how, ask the question who. Who already knows how to do this? You change your question, you change everything. Me and Todd were like almost completely broke.
I was like, I'll work for free. He's like, I'll work for free. Like, sweet, we can afford this. And we built ClickFunnels. I'm the dancing monkey on stage who talks about it, but there are some amazing people behind the scenes who did all the actual work, okay? I was the contractor who put the people and the things in place to make it a possibility. As you start going home tonight, start thinking about it, so you understand that your job, your role in this company, there's two things. Number one, you have to learn the strategy. That's why you've been here, to understand the strategy. Then your second goal is assemble your own dream team. That's it. That's where you stop. You do not learn all the other pieces. You understand the strategy, you find your dream team. So another question is like, well, Russell, what's your job? What's the job of what you guys do over here? So our job is to support you in those things, okay? So I have a question. How many guys here would be interested in me and my team helping you to earn a 2 Comma Club over the next 12 months? All right. Well, this is now your official invitation.
So we've got them to believe those three things. All they need is they need a really, really good offer. And so the way we teach people to do an offer is through a process called a stack. That's very simple, but it's like the most powerful thing in the world. Is the very first thing you explain. Here's the first part of my offer. First thing's gonna happen inside 2 Comma Club X coaching program is we're gonna help you guys to master the funnels. These are all amazing human beings, and they're gonna be your coaching staff for the next 12 months. Is that amazing? So everyone, this is your tribe. These are the people who have been here for at least a year, who have had success in this program. We're here to pull you up and to push you as you go. Just explain what that is, you talk about it, and then you do a stack slide, which basically says, look, you're gonna get this is the value of it. You're gonna get the coaches, the mentors, and the tribe. Then you introduce the second part of the offer. So not only you get that thing I just talked about, you're gonna get this thing as well. You talk about that. You need the Funnel Waffle Mastery Live event. Then I transition now to the third thing. Here's the third component where you're gonna explain what that is, get them all excited about that. Then I come back to the stack slide again. And then the bonus live experiences. We have the Unlock the Secrets Parents and Kids event, the 2 Comma Club X Platinum Mastermind session after you pass that, and then we got the 2 Comma Club and Inner Circle Cruise. Total value $118,973, okay? I know that seems like a lot of money for most of you guys, but if you take a 2 Comma Club, that's about 10% of that, which I think is fair. Now the human mind remembers that whole stack, not just the last bonus, remember everything, and then I introduce the price, drop the price. Instead, you guys can do it for just $2,500 per month. And then people jump up and they go running to the back of the room. That's the magic of how you close somebody from stage when you're trying to get them to get into your high ticket programs. When all said and done, like, we're a software company. And the goal is for us is to have people who are successful with our software. So if we can coach them and mentor them and push them through this process, make sure they're more successful, that's what gets the entire company, the entire platform to grow. Yes, it is very profitable. Yes, you can make a lot of money with it, but it's bigger than that. I hope you guys see that, because the money that comes in, like, we spend a ton of it. I'm reinvesting the fulfillment to the people who signed up. The long term is the success of the students, and if everything's choreographed towards that, and then serving them at the highest level possible, that's when you have the biggest impact. And the education is the piece that fuels it and drives it, and that's what no other software company does. The blending of those two things together is what's changed everything for us. Our role in this is to, like, be an example of, like, this is what's possible, and then people are taking stuff and using them, and it's been fun. On the event side, I've watched our friends in the real estate space, Justin Terry, they launched Flip Hacking Live and modeled everything. Alex and Layla doing it with Gym Launch in their industry, in their business, helping gyms to grow and to scale and using these principles inside of gyms. Brandon and Caitlin Pullen over at Lady Boss doing events, changing women and helping them lose weight and, like, having this huge transformation over there. And so it's been really cool seeing the people inside of our community that are taking these principles and modeling them and using them in each of their individual businesses and seeing the impact that's come for them as well. The last thing I want to mention is to put on an event like this, it takes an army of amazing people. It takes tons of support from the families of everyone involved. But there's over 100 people here that have killed themselves to put on this event for you guys. So I just wanted to give a second to give my entire team a huge round of applause for all the work that they put into this whole event.
And there are 6 people that without their love and support and sacrifice would not make any of this possible. The ClickFunnels spouses, the survivors, the women who have made all this possible.
I think the definition of ClickFunnels is like sacrifice, because there's so many nights where we didn't have our husbands because they were fighting for you. To see all of you guys here and to see how much you guys just are obsessed with this company is really like pouring back not only into our hearts, but back into our marriage and back into our families.
You know, it's one of my favorite parts of Funnel Hacking Live. When it's done the last day, we go out to dinner together and we all just kind of hang out. And it's just like, at that point, I'm so too tired to talk, and I just like look around, look at them all. I'm like, man, there's a lot of people that made this thing possible. I'm so grateful for them that, you know, that they believe in the same vision I do, because I couldn't do it without them. And the fact that they're here, they're bought in, that they're doing it, this is their mission as well now. It's really special. The reason why I do this, why I'm obsessed with this, because every single person that we're able to touch and change during this event, it doesn't just affect them. Usually it starts with them, and then it affects their families. And then as they start growing, then they start hiring employees in a team, and all of a sudden there's a team of people they're affecting. And they start getting customers, and they start serving those customers, and start changing their lives. And every single one of the people that are sitting there, if we can touch them and affect them the right way, it's a ripple effect that'll go through tens of thousands, in some cases millions of people. And so we got 4,200 of them, and if we serve them at the right level, from the very second they come in all the way to the end, we could affect literally tens of millions of people from this weekend. If you look at it, probably half of them are people who've come before in the past. And for them, this is like a big, huge family reunion. You will see that, like when they show up, it's like they're gonna be crying and hugging, and this is gonna be this most amazing thing in the world. And then the other half are people who are here for the first time, and half of them are scared, they're nervous. Some of them spent the last minute they had to come here. They came with a hope and a dream and not knowing what to do next. As excited as I am for all of our hardcore funnel hackers who are going to be back, I'm mostly excited for this new group of people who we really have a chance to change their lives. When all said and done, that's the only thing that matters. We are all going to be tired. I'm going to be beat up. It's going to be late nights, early mornings, tons of stress. My voice will be completely shot by the time it's done, but that's okay because it's not about us at all. This is for them, like it's a really, really big deal. And so from the top all the way down to the bottom, we'll make sure that we are always having a super focus on like the service that we're trying to do for them. And if we do that, it'll literally be the transformation point for a lot of these people in their lives. This is my mom's first time coming to any of our craziness. And last of all, we want to thank all of you guys for trusting in us, for having the belief, having the commitment to not just think about it, not just talk about it, not just dabble, but to take this step and to travel, to leave your homes, your families, to come here and to learn and to grow. We had such an honor serving you guys over the last 4 days. We're grateful for you. Thanks again for everything, you guys. Appreciate you, and we'll see you guys all next year.